Rodney, Bowe, and Robert Muller. Think about it, there must be higher love, facing my fear and standing up here alone. Without it, life is wasted time. I'll look inside your heart, you'll look inside mine. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. Today is the third Sunday in our look and celebration of the season of Advent. And today we are going to be embracing the concept of peace. Coming up the next week or so in the newsletter, I want to make sure everybody is signed up for our newsletter because it's a really great way to keep up with what's happening. And I really want people to take this holiday season when we slow down and if there are, I'm going to be starting up our Spirit Groups program early next year. And in the meantime, if there's any Spirit Group that you'd like to see or that you might feel compelled to help lead with our team, let me know about it. My email address is jeff@abq.org. You'll also see in the newsletter an opportunity and an invitation to reach out to me there as well. But I'm going to be taking the next few weeks and putting together our program for next year. So if you're a previous host, there'll be sign up for your next group. I'm already starting to enroll some of the ongoing groups. But if there's more that you'd like to see happen here, let me know. There's Mr. Dino. Should join me. So we're going to light our candles. The first candle we're going to light is for joy. And in this season of holidays, it is a joy that to whatever degree we can, we're back together. And family are coming into town. My mother's coming into town. I haven't seen her in years due to COVID, so I'm really excited and joyful about that. And I'm sure there's things happening in your life that bring you joy in this season as well. The second candle is for hope. The hope that leads us into the next year. In Christianity, it was the hope and the promise of the coming of the birth of Christ and all that that symbolized in terms of renewal and newness. And the third candle today, which we're going to celebrate, is peace. And it's really that invitation to take this time to go in and know peace. And as Amani will be talking about later in the service, to bring yourself back to life in this season.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. So lovely to see all of you. New faces, old friends. At this time, we'd like to open up our service with a short prayer, if you'd be so kind to join me. We know that God is all there is, and the reflection of spirit is found in nature. Let us take a moment to be grateful for all we see, all we know, and all we feel. Let us extend our love at this moment to our family and friends, to all those that were unable to join us today. Let us remember them now. And may we know peace. And so it is.
This time we'd like to invite you to light a candle of faith.
last week. It's hard to live without you. We light candles for those that have moved away, loved ones that are unable to be with us this holiday in person. We remember our neighbors, and we remember our vehicles that start up in the morning. And we remember the love of one another. We would like to also extend an offer to those of you online who would like to put a prayer request in the comments. We will make sure those get to our practitioners to hold you in prayer. Thank you for being with us. That altar looks beautiful. Fills my heart with joy. Feels like my heart is bursting. At this time, we'd like to invite those of you that would like to share your prayers with us. Please come up.
Hello. So our beloved Fred Morton, fellow practitioner of mine and whom I affectionately call Daddy Fred, I was at urgent care last night experiencing some pain, and they did a bunch of tests, and so if we could just hold him in prayer that they figure out what's going on and that all is well. And my dear friend Chuck, his mom, is experiencing dementia, and she fell and broke her hip, and the dementia's gotten a lot worse since then. So he's been busy every day taking care of her, and he asked me to request prayer for him. So if we could just hold him in prayer as well. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I pray for those. Sometime in life we have to let people go, especially if they're not, loving and respectful towards you. I pray for those people that God would bless their journey. And the thing is, we have to love everyone. And so I pray that God will also bless me. I visualize my car and my smile and me wanting to help people. So I try to pray for people with the pandemic because we're going through a hard time right now. And I think the thing that the world needs is love. And I love you all.
Good morning. I have a very special young man on my heart and in my mind today. And he is my nephew who lives out in California. I recently heard that within the last couple of weeks, he was in a very serious automobile accident, and it has had disastrous results for him. He's got brain injury and a number of other things to overcome, and he's very, as you can imagine, very depressed and is wanting to give up. So I'm asking for all prayers, all hearts to turn his way today, and his name is Daryl. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm knowing at this time, at this moment, right here and right now, that my niece Jackie is well, that the healing is complete, and that there's nothing to worry about, that all is well and whole with her, and that I am so grateful for that and so happy to let that go, knowing it's true right here, right now. So it is.
We're going to take all of your prayers.
I'm going to give one more from our online beloved, Kat Gordon. We love you, Kat. She is asking for prayers of strength.
We're going to take all your lovely prayers and anchor them at this time. And so it is.
Beautiful. Good morning, everybody. It is so lovely to see you all this morning. And I just wanted to take a moment and thank all of our generous sustaining givers. So if you have already turned in a sustaining giving card, would you mind standing for me? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for our sustaining givers who turn in their cards, so that could be whether you are wanting to make a new recurring gift, a committed gift to this community throughout 2022, whether you are continuing your committed gift throughout 2022, there will be a special surprise for you on January 11th. We are going to have a special thank you event for those who have committed to giving in 2022 on January 11th. So this is a save the date. January 11th, the evening, you're going to be here having a special surprise. So I'm not going to say more about that. And for those of you who would just like to make a one-time gift, you are able to do so online at our website, ABQCSL.org. You can check the screens for all the ways to give. My favorite currently is Pick to Give. You can just take your phone and take a picture of that barcode and voila, it's super easy. Our sustaining committed giver cards are here at our giving table, and after service I invite you to meet me over there and learn more about that. Thank you all so much. It is truly the givingness of this community that allows us to continue to do the mission of this center, which is to be love in action. Thank you all. And I also want to do a special welcome to Rodney, Bowe, and Robert Muller, who are here. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Rodney so that he can honor our beloved Michael Herndon.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everybody. I bring with a heavy heart. Some of you know that our beloved Michael Herndon Our beloved Michael Herndon made its transition recently. Our community has lost a gem. We've lost a brother. We've lost a father, a great friend. Um, we look forward to honoring him in, I believe, February with the celebration of life. But please put his family in your heart and remember what Michael has given us. He transitioned doing the thing that he loved, which was music and bringing all of us joy. So remember Michael and spread his love. He would want that. We're going to do a tribute song for him entitled Blue and Green.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rodney, for being here. Thank you, Robert. Oh, this winter season, it gets us. It gets us, this darkness, this pause that we're invited to, where we're sitting in these losses a little more deeply than maybe we would in the spring or the summer. And I just honor all of you who have made your way here this morning, and those of you who've made your way here this morning online. I honor you, because I know it's not easy in these days. But I want to share a little story from Devorah Chaya, who lives in Israel. She's a Jewish thought writer and artist. And she says, "Last night I had a dream. I dreamt that I gave birth in my living room to a long and very pink baby. The puzzling nature of her birth, the elusive or non-existent 9 months of incubation, the surprise of it didn't disturb so much as the question of how to separate her body from mine. The long umbilical cord stretched between us, and I just stood there, flailing my arms. And then my baby bit through the cord and launched herself into the world as an independent being. I don't know why I had this dream, but I'd like to think I actually do. I am giving birth to myself. I am moving from one constricted level of consciousness to a higher, more expanded one. My new self is smart, likable, and swift. She is powerful and can act where the old one was at a loss. I move from a sense of powerlessness and a troubling world towards a sense of strength and possibility. My pre-birth life played out over the course of dreary winter months. They were dark and clenched. The world was closed to me. This is sort of a part one of the winter part of this story, except you have to wait until the spring equinox for part two. And I was thinking about that a lot, like how huge that feels in this season, as you know, solstice is happening this week, and the shortest day of the year isn't even upon us yet. And yet we have months ahead of us to wait for the return of the long days. We have months ahead of us before those blossoms and those little green babies are going to poke through the soil. We have months of grief ahead of us as we navigate the losses, the letting go of what once was. And it feels like a huge ask. It feels like a huge ask for winter to last this long. And yet it's this thing that we do every year. It is this moment we find ourselves in every year. And every year, regardless of the outer circumstances, we find ourselves in this moment with a little anxiousness and anxiety. Like, really? It's going to last all winter? Like, really? The sun's not going to fully have long days again until this summer? Is it really going to come back? Is the sun really coming back? And I think the reason why every faith tradition, every culture in the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere, although we celebrate it at different times, have a story of return, have a story of rebirth. Whether it is the return of the Kachinas from the San Francisco mountains who come back and spend the winter season present with the people in the Kiva fires. Because the need for the reminder, the need for that little extra support is real during the winter season. There's the changing of guard in the Yule Kings. The winter king comes back on this solstice. But it's on purpose. Because that anxiety and that anxiousness and that doubt, that dance we do with loss of faith in these dark moments needs a little extra support. Including the celebration of Jesus of Nazareth, who we celebrate that birth, the birth of the Son in this season. The reminder of the Son will return is celebrated in every solstice tradition across the world, in Diwali. And I think it is necessary to make it intentional and to bring ourselves back to the truth of our oneness with the One, the truth of the light that is our being even when we can't feel it and see it. There's a reason we need to get intentional about that right now, because we forget. We forget. And so every great tradition, every great prophet, every great cultural ritual and ceremony of this winter time is for us to remember, is for us to return to our essential nature. I think a lot about this idea of returning, of rebirthing, and what is required in that. In the story she shared, she said that dream came to her in the dreary winter months where the world felt closed to her. And she goes on to speak of what happens in the spring, which I'm going to share with you in the spring. Because I think it's important for us to take the moment and be where we are. To be where we are in a world that feels so cold right now. To find ourselves exactly where we are, where the nights are longer than the days. And to wholeheartedly accept the invitation to remember, to take the time to return to what is essential and true. The greatest message of Jesus of Nazareth, that the kingdom of heaven is within. There's this incredible gift that is given to us in this winter season. This incredible gift of darkness. This incredible gift of a quieting, of a slowing, of a pause that we are invited into so that we can turn our entire attention onto one thing. That God is right where we are. That we are one with the Holy Blessed One. And that when we intentionally say yes to this season, to this time, and we turn down the noise of that outer circumstance, where we not only turn down the noise in our lives, but we actually turn down the noise of our activities, where we turn down the noise of our expectations, and we turn down the noise of moving at all times. And we say yes to ourselves. We say yes to returning to our own divine nature. And we make use of this incredible season. We make use of the pause, of the dark, of the quiet. And we honor whatever tradition we practice, whether that is Christmas or Diwali or the solstice or the Kachina celebration. Whatever tradition we practice, we do so by honoring the invitation that it offers us, by saying yes, by saying, you know what, I am going to take this time. I'm going to sit with my holy blessed self, and I'm going to remember who I am. I am going to remember that the kingdom of heaven is living in me right now, and I am going to make it a priority to connect to that truth. That's how we honor the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. That's how we honor the Yule Kings and the Kachinas and the solstice itself. We don't run past it. We don't wish it wasn't happening. We don't think somehow winter is bad and summer is good. I heard a teacher of mine say recently that one of the ways that he knew that he had a greater connection to his divine nature was that he allowed Spirit to give life to him in whatever way Spirit was going to give life to him, and he was going to make good use of it. And Spirit gives us this season every year. Spirit gives us this invitation without fail, infinitely. And I believe it is ours to make good use of it. So one of the things I want to ask you to do is just to close your eyes for a moment and think of one of those winter classic songs. Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? And can you turn down the noise in your own minds? What do you hear? Can you feel the peace that resides there? The peace that is promised in this season. Can you feel that? And maybe the noise in your own mind is really loud. So I give you another invitation. This time we are going to lean in to that essential nature, and whatever noise is in your head, whatever thoughts feel like they will not leave you alone, they are an invitation too. They are saying, I am the barrier to your peace. I am the barrier to your hope. I am the barrier to your faith and to your joy, and you must attend to me. That's why the season takes so long. So, this invitation into the stillness, into the dark, into the pause, isn't just so that you can sit on your lotus cushion and ignore the noise that is unique to you, the noise in your own being. That noise has an invitation in it too. Much like the birthing process itself, returning to our divine nature can be messy, painful work. Anybody birthed a baby? Yeah, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Tiana, I'm sorry, this is not going to be fun for you because you're getting ready to do it again. But you know. One of the things that happens in the birthing process, first of all, is it takes a really long time to grow a baby. But one of the things that happens in a woman's body when she is growing a baby is her body is preparing her to birth it. And there's this chemical that gets released so that the pelvic girdle, the hip bones, can begin to soften. that the ligaments holding it all together can soften and open. And it takes months. It takes months for that to happen. And it's uncomfortable. But one of the things during those months of preparation and growth is the softening and the opening. And I believe those noisy thoughts in our heads, not the mundane ones, not the grocery list ones, not the, oh, my knee hurts, oh, why did that person say that thing, not the monkey mind noise. That's distraction. But the noise that will not leave you alone. The thought about the relationship you haven't shown up in the way that you really know you can. The thought about whatever you have left unattended in yourself that is asking again and again and again and again and again for your attention. That noise needs to be attended to, much like the softening and the ligament stretching that happens in a woman's body in order to birth new life. That very time that it takes to attend to it, because these are the barriers. Bones that don't soften, hips that don't open, do not birth babies. So we've got to do the work. We've got to do the work of labor and remove the barriers, attend to those barriers, acknowledge them. What is in the way of your peace right now? What is in the way of your faith right now? And you know, because it won't leave you alone. Even if it's this thing that feels intangible and uncomfortable in your body and you just, I don't even know what it is. But if you take the invitation and you say yes to this moment of stillness and pause and rest and actually give it your attention, that discomfort, that noise, that thing that we've been all so busy avoiding and moving at a speed of avoidance throughout the summer and fall months. It's been waiting for you. It's been waiting for you, and here's your moment. Here's your moment to say, you know what? I deserve the time it takes, the quiet it takes, the rest it takes to attend to the barriers to my peace, to my joy. Because my divine essential nature that I owe to life, that I get to bring back to life itself, deserves the attention required so that I can bring that back, so that I can offer my wholeness, my unique and authentic divine expression as the one to life itself. And whatever is in the way of that deserves my attention, deserves whatever is required to remove those barriers, to soften and open those pathways so that I can bring myself back to life. So I want to invite you right now to think about, what are the thoughts that are barriers to your peace right now? You get to let those thoughts go, attend to those thoughts, and remove them so you can bring yourself back to life. What are the choices and decisions you've been making that are a barrier to your wholeness, to your peace, to your joy, to your faith? What are the choices and decisions you've made that need to be removed so you can bring yourself back to life. So that you can align your thinking, you can align your choices, you can align your behavior with the truth of who you are. That is the great invitation of this season. That is the labor we are being called to. And we cannot birth ourselves back to life, rebirth ourselves back to life, unless we do the labor. And we can look to that incredible story of Mama Mary. She was birthing in some unideal circumstances. There was poop of animals. And she birthed anyway. She brought back to life the greatest fundamental spiritual principle from around the world, the greatest perennial wisdom we have from every faith tradition ever, that we are not separate from the one. That is the invitation of this season. That is the invitation of this holiday. And when we choose to accept it, we are gifted. We are gifted with the greatest gift we can possibly be gifted with: ourselves. Our divine, gorgeous, beloved self. So whatever tradition you celebrate this week, my invitation to you is to say yes to the messy, painful, beautiful labor of rebirthing yourself back to life. And one of the ways I hope that you can remember the beautiful, divine, essential truth of who you are is through a candle lighting ceremony we're going to do together right now. So if you did not receive a candle on your way in, please raise your hand so our ushers can make sure you have one. All right, everybody's got their candle, it appears. Okay. And I'm going to hand it over to the beautiful Clarissa Crowe and her lovely coated man, Jeff, Rodney and Robert. Thank you.
the skin on the outside. I am not my age, I am not my race, my soul inside is all light, is all light, is all light, is all
Thank you so much. If you are able to stand and raise your candles, knowing that you are the radiant light of God, allowing God to shine through you. At this time, we're going to say our closing affirmation that you will find on the screens. Together, you are the radiant light of God. Let your light shine out to the world. Thank you so much. If you are in need of prayer today, please see me. The practitioners will be over by the altar, and we'd be more than happy to pray for you. Please know that God loves you, and we love you. And thank you for being here with us today. Have a lovely holiday season.